Have you watched today's like UFC fight
Oh, you
between
mean Poirier
Poirier and
versus McGregor?
yes.
He broke his leg,
Even that fight,
McGregor.
I wanted. Sorry.
So he broke his ankle or his leg, didn't he?
Yes.
McGregor.
Yeah. Just there's something wrong with McGregor. I still he's not that same guy anymore. Before that he used to wait and he used to counter punch. And that's why his punches was so effective. Now even he gets that left hand to these opponents. It's not the same. He dropped Alvarez twice. I mean thrice, 3 times in one round. I think that's not easy. Alvarez one tough fighter. You know,
Yeah.
he's not the same. But I think it's when I saw to this fight, it was coming that fluidity was coming. He's just I don't know why he does that. He just the way he spoke at the press conference, I was just like, oh fuck, man, I just want Poirier to win. Just bringing someone's wife in that in the conference and
Mm.
why you do that, man? I
It's
didn't
interesting
like
though
it.
because he's always been a shit talker, but when he was winning, it was okay. But once he went on this losing streak, it didn't become acceptable. So like,
No,
it's
it
kind
was
of
like his trash talking was witty at when he was winning. It was very nice. He was responding. He was not manifesting
yeah,
like the other guy. You do you remember that the moment when you throw cans at Diaz, the
yeah,
Diaz gang, right? So first they threw it. They threw it to him, the water bottles, and then he threw it to the Diaz gang. So it was like it was a reaction, right? It was right
yeah,
because it was the leveler, right? And now we're in the Poirier fight. He kicked him. Poirier did nothing. He was too emotionally invested. Why I don't like him now is because um, he's getting. Once he said, you cannot be emotional in a fight. When emotions cloud your reactions. If
mm,
you're too emotionally invested in a game, then you will not think your mind will not be present in the fight. That's what he said, and he just become that guy. So I'm
yeah,
like, he's just the opposite. Why? That's the reasons why I loved him. He just become opposite of that. So that's why I just man, when he trash talk, like he was talking the truth at that time. He was speaking facts at the time. That's why it was so fun to watch. Now
mm,
it's just cringy.
yeah. He's. I think, but one of the reasons I found him fun to watch was because he would talk so much shit, but he would win at the same time. So it was almost like he was allowed to talk shit because people knew he was going to win. And he said that himself. He's like, I talk a lot of shit, but I back it up. So that's what
Yeah,
made it so appealing to so many people.
exactly.
But once he talked shit and he started losing, he he then became like, well, then what's the point of talking shit? It just makes you look like an arsehole. So,
Yes.
so that's basically, I think that's what's happened is because his whole persona or like his whole act was that he would be the guy that talks shit but still won all the time. And then it's not as entertaining to watch someone talk shit when they don't win. So I think that he's pretty much lost his momentum. And I think what's interesting is that after the Khabib loss, I think like he really went downhill, and that really like tore him apart because Khabib was just like he just mentally he's just so strong. Like the reason I think he lost to Diaz and Khabib is that he lost the mental game in both of those games, in both of those fights, because Diaz was like he's a good trash talker himself, and like he's just good at like defending trash talk because he's a trash talk himself. He knows how it works, and Khabib is just so like he's just so mentally strong that just was he didn't even Khabib just doesn't talk trash, but he's just so mentally strong that he doesn't get under his skin. So I think those two losses really affected him, and also the money as well. I think the money went to his head a little bit. Um, yeah, I
It's
think
just
that's my thoughts
he's
on it.
just he's just not working hard. He's just he's become the other guy. Just man. When at the time when he was like really rising, it he didn't give a shit about the whole trash talking thing. You remember the fight between Holloway and Conor McGregor? You see
Mm.
those press conference. He didn't talk shit because it was not needed. He always did what was needed, right? So now I'm talking about someone's family, someone's religion. He doesn't need that. To be quite honest, he could have won that. For me, honestly, he could have won Khabib's fight. That as well.
Mm.
He's a very good fighter, I feel. But just the way he's been fighting recently, he's just very stiff. It's just not in. Just
Mm.
yeah, it's sad to say, but uh, yeah, I think if it keeps on going, I think it's gonna come up. I feel like that. It's out of logic, but I feel like that one.
Yeah.
I love the I love how he how he broke the same leg. That he kicked in the press conference. That was the same leg thing. And
Oh,
at the end of the at the end of the fight, the way he talked after that, after the octagon interview, his whole thing.
yeah. I
He was
think
it
it
was like a
was.
villain. It was a villain moment, man.
Yeah. It was a bit personal, but I think the first fight, if you watch the first fight between Poirier and
Hmm,
McGregor,
hmm,
it was also
hmm.
very personal as well. Like they had a very
Yeah,
big
that's
rivalry from the beginning.
yes, yes. That's what I'm saying. You know, Dustin Poirier took it very personally. At that
Mm.
time. Now Conor McGregor is taking very personally everything outside the octagon. Like
Yeah.
Dustin was affected by the talks, and when Conor McGregor won, he bowed to him and he shook his hand, which means like
Yeah.
it was not. He really didn't mean anything you're saying. Now he really means it. He's really involved in this emotional thing.
Yeah.
And he was telling it. Dustin Poirier would go out on a stretcher, and it
Mm.
happened to him. And what I was like, man.
So like, where do you think the where do you think that comes from? Like, why do you think he's become so emotionally involved in his fighting?
Because he's not prepared enough. He was not prepared enough to fight Khabib, and he's not in the moment. It was before the fight. Like the time when he fought Mayweather, he knew like the time was not enough to like really prepare. It was like 6 months or something like that. And
Mm.
after that, even then he talked like shit and everything he was gonna win, and he knew he was not gonna win. So he was not believing in himself. So that became a
Mm.
habit. That really became a habit. Like, and then after that, if he lost and his self confidence went down, so he fought Khabib. He should have eased down from an easier fight. He should have warmed up before that.
Mm.
So that's where he made the mistake. That's where it went all down the hill. So
Mm.
I still believe he can do it. But yeah,
So
if he keeps on going like this,
with the Khabib fight, then you think he didn't prepare enough against Khabib, and
hmm,
what was the reason? Like, what's the reason you're saying that he didn't prepare enough?
because he was going from a boxing mindset to like the MMA mindset, which Khabib, the levels, the Khabib was wrestling, right? He
Mm.
was most of a grappler, so he was fighting with this like fighting with the boxing stance. So he was thinking like high up, and when he was wrestling, when he fought Khabib, he had to prepare for wrestling, and
Mm.
not any wrestling, but it was really high level wrestling, right? So it was just not enough. The practice was not enough, man.
Yeah. So the fight
Right?
before Khabib should have been an MMA one where he
Yes,
could warm up for him,
yes.
basically.
He should have come like it should have been like some easy fight, like the warm up fights. He should
Yeah.
have done that. And he was out of his mind, thinking like he can go straight in, and after 2 years of absence, 2.5 years of absence, he can fight with
Yeah.
a very
So
good grappler fighter.
so
So
where does that like mindset come from then? Like the mindset that he had going into the Khabib fight, which is that like,
mm,
oh, I don't need a warm up. Like, where do you think that mindset came from?
it was overconfidence. It was like he won that like 205 title, right?
Yeah.
In the UFC 205, he won that against Eddie Alvarez. He was,
Yeah.
and then he fought with Mayweather. So it was just like he was way too overconfident. He was not assessing himself like fairly. It was not a
Yeah.
fair assessment. Before that, he used to assess himself like very fairly.
Yeah.
these are my mistakes, these are my positive, and these are my negative. Even if now you see, before that Poirier, after that Poirier second fight, he posted a video. Have you watched that? Where he was hitting all the shots,
Mm.
right? He's posting all the good parts of its video. He edited it so well that if you watch that video, you think that he has won the fight. He's just not focusing on what's actually happening. He's out of his mind right now,
Yeah. So
to
he's
be
not
quite
he's,
honest.
he's not he's not grounded in
And
reality.
then and the shots, and the shots. Yes, yes, and the shots that he's hitting right now. That's what I feel like. In MMA, you don't need. He told these things. I don't need to tell this thing. He told, like, in MMA you don't need to hit with more force. You just need precision, and you just need timing. And now he's
Mm.
when you hear him talk about press conferences, it's just about power, power, power. Those are some clean shots that he's hitting. But MMA, you need some half shots, pop shots. You need to wait, and you need to just keep attacking. The volume strikes. Poirier has been doing that. You know, you don't need to much power to hurt from this MMA gloves.
Mm.
That's what, from where is boxing. It's hurting him.
Mm.
In boxing, you need more power, like full clean shots. Powerful shots,
Mm.
and that's it, man. Just he thinks like going with the boxing approach in MMA is gonna work. It's not gonna work. I think just too much. I think it's just too much
Yeah.
overconfidence.
So like, what do you think drew him to boxing in the first place? Then, and it was the Mayweather fight. But like, yeah, I don't think he'd done boxing before that. But like, what was the reason that he chose to fight Mayweather?
It's of course about the money. It's about the money, and I feel it was about the challenge as well. He wanted to challenge
Mm.
himself, and he wanted to box with Mayweather. Like he told that for a long, long time. He almost yeah, he wanted to do that. To be quite honest,
Mm.
he wanted the challenge, but he was like you went to boxing with an MMA approach, and he's going to MMA with a boxing approach. That's the mistake that he's doing, man. It's just when you see like Poirier in this interview, the third fight interview, he's just saying, "I'm going to be a mixed martial artist and take whatever that's open." And whereas McGregor was like, the one who shoots, who wrestles is Dusty Bitch or something like that, or something like just it's an MMA fight, you know. And what I don't like about this whole thing is that even in the second fight, they're saying something like McGregor won the first round and something like that, and like that. It's almost like going to the marathon, 400-meter race, and saying that I won the first 100-meter race. It doesn't count,
Mm.
right? It doesn't count. It's just you have to win the form. You have to pace yourself better. It's up to you, man. How you
Mm.
prepare,
It
how
sounds like
how
he's
you play
he's
the
not
game. You cannot tell that.
he's he's not taking the loss well. What it sounds like, because if he was taking the loss well, he would just said, "Oh yeah,
Yes, yes.
Perry was the better guy. He won. I'll train. I'll come back and I'll fight better." Which is, it sounded like that's what he did in the second fight. But this third fight, it just
No,
seems like
no,
he's
no, no.
just
He just
lost it.
yeah. He said that, but he didn't mean it. When you see the first Diaz fight, when he lost, he was like he was he meant it like I'll come back and I'll rise. That's what he said. And the second time he said like, uh, I'll come back again, something like that. And the next day, very next day, he posted something like the video clip where he was doing very good.
Oh no, no. What I meant was
It was almost like
in
he didn't
the
want to learn from his mistakes.
no. What I meant was is that after the second fight when he lost, he almost like he gave credit to Poirier and he said, you deserved it. And I think that that was him accepting that he wasn't good enough on the night. Whereas this third fight, from what I've seen, it just seems like he's not accepted that Poirier was the better guy and he was the better fighter. So that's why I think that's why he doesn't mean it when he says that he'll come back strongest, because he's not properly accepted the fact.
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying.
Hello? Sorry, I cut out there. Say that again, sorry.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, just wait a second. I'll just remove this. Oh my god, man! Good discussion. He's a very good guy, man. I just love him. It's great to be part of something, like this. Hello.
Oh yeah, I can hear you again.
Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool, man. Let's remove this green screen. Let me move closer to my router. Oh, fuck. Yeah. What were you saying? Sorry, just everything got disturbed.
Yeah, so I think the last thing I said was after the second Poirier fight, it seemed like he had accepted
Yeah.
that he wasn't good enough, and that Poirier was the better
We lost
fighter.
him again.
You lost me again.
Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah. I got it.
You got you. Yeah. So in the second fight, he'd accepted that Poirier was the better fighter, which is why I think that when he said that he'll come back stronger, he genuinely meant it, because he felt like he wasn't good enough. Whereas I think in this fight, he's not accepted that he's not good enough and that Poirier was the better fighter, which is why I think that he doesn't mean it when he says that he'll come back stronger. I think that it's because he's not accepted the fact that he wasn't good enough on the night. For whatever reason, I think he's taken the loss too badly, I think.
Yeah, man. He has to do that because if he says that he lost it fairly in the trilogy, it's over for him.
Yeah,
It's no longer like he can no longer claim that he is the GOAT.
Exactly, yeah. So I think that's a good point because in the trilogy, yeah, it's exactly that. It's the trilogy. But I mean, they have said that they want to fight again. So, I mean, if he does accept it genuinely and they fight again, it's on even playing field again. So, but it's a bit of a drag. I mean, no one wants to see the same fight 5 times, and in order for Conor to claim that he's better than Poirier, he's going to have to fight him another 2 times and win both of them. So it's a bit of a drag, this fight. Like, there's not really much. I think that what Conor needs to do is just take the loss and just like go back to basics and just he needs to like. I think that where he's gone wrong is he's gotten too obsessed with his successes and his money that he's made. I think he's kind of gone wrong there. He's kind of forgotten what got him to the first place, what got him to the position he was in the first place, which is the hunger and
Yes,
the
exactly,
desire.
man. Well, yeah. You hear me?
Yeah. Sorry, cut out, but I can hear you now.
Network is so unstable, man. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So like, yeah, even in the press conferences, I've noticed that like from the Khabib fight, and even in the Mayweather fight, halfway there, he's always talking about the wins from Jose Aldo and Eddie Alvarez, which is like a long time ago, you know.
Yeah.
It's boring, man. It's just what the. So I think I think he can do it. I think when they fight the next time, it's going to be very very different. I think McGregor has a very very good chance the next time.
Yeah. I,
It's
I
not
also
over.
I also think he
So,
needs to change his identity a bit. I think because his identity was he was the guy that talked shit but still managed to win every time, and that was his like appeal. That was his brand. Whereas now, like, he can't do that. He's basically talking shit and losing, which is really like the complete opposite to what people want to see. So I feel like he needs to change his identity a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Like exactly, he's in his mind. In his inner mind, he believes that he's the guy. He's a shit talker. Nowadays, because
Yeah.
in the earlier days, it was all about fighting. He was just like, let's get it on. I still remember him saying like, I'll clean the whole roster inside 4 months. Just he didn't want to trash talk at all. Now he wants to do the press conference and everything, and it's changed. The
Yeah,
way he
but do
thinks
you
about
remember
himself has changed.
in the
He's believed his own hype.
in the Aldo fight though, he trash talked a lot. He trash talked a lot, and he even made predictions. That's how confident he was. But could you imagine if he'd done all that trash talking to Aldo
Yes.
and made those predictions and then lost to him? Like, he would just be. It's pretty much all or nothing with him, and like we've gotten
Yes.
we've gotten everything from him, but now we're experiencing the nothing part from him because he's as soon as you lose once, that's it. Like there's no like you can't trash talk as much. You can't get inside people's heads anymore.
Yeah. What I feel is like the way he trash talked. That was different. In Jose Aldo fight, he knew he practiced it so much. He was practicing it so much that he was ready for the worst, and he was just hoping for the best. Now he's just hoping for the best. He's not prepared for the worst thing that could happen for him.
Yeah.
If she's like even Dustin Poirier fight, the first fight, he's saying like I still remember that quote when he said, "I'm waiting silently to pull the trigger." I still remember that quote when he says like I'm waiting silently to pull the trigger. Now he's saying I should for knockout or something like that. Which is like very superficial in this level. You cannot do that.
Yeah.
It's good, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, he's lost his way a bit. Definitely, I think he's just lost his way a bit. He needs to like rediscover his passion for fighting. I think because it seems like he's lost it a little bit. But yeah, anyway,
and I don't. Yeah, and I seriously, I don't think that Khabib is that mentally strong. If Conor had trash talk the way he trash talked earlier, in the Alvarez fight, in the before fights, where he was responding, that would have got under his skin because that's the truth, and the truth ultimately hurts, right? Whether you like it, accept it or not. Like in this press conference, like McGregor is always like he's talking some imaginary things, like even with him one there was one person where he said where one fan or some reporter asked like the last time you won a world title, Barack Obama was a president, and that was funny, and it got under his nerves. So think what would happen if fighters trash.
Yeah, but Alvarez, you could tell that Alvarez was a bit. He wasn't as. He was a bit more sensitive, and he wasn't as mentally tough as Khabib, because Khabib, it doesn't matter what you say to the guy. The guy is humble. Like, he doesn't fight just for the money. So you can tell he's if you're not fighting purely for the money, and you're fighting because you want to be the best, there's just two completely different motives. Whereas I think Conor McGregor initially was fighting to be the best, but once he got to be the best, the money also came, and then it was no longer about being the best. It was just about making money. So I think that's where he kind of lost his way a little bit. But saying that, sorry, go on.
If you spit facts, spit facts, then even if it's 10% true or 20% true, it will get you. Like if you had said Khabib always misses weight and something like that, do you remember the first fight when against Poirier, where he said a cost of win and he does the chicken dance? That was true at that time, and it got on his nerve. Do you remember that time? That was true, right?
I do remember that. Yeah,
not exactly. You just maximized that thing, You made that lizard of a thing, into a crocodile. It was not like that, but it was true. Even if it was 10% true, it was funny and it was true at the same time. It got him, and everyone was laughing. And when you say everyone laughing, it gets to you, right? If you had said to Khabib the same way, it was funny. In the Khabib fight, he was always like, I don't know, man. Just it was about religion. He was father and something like that. It was not funny. It was shit talking, man. Just
it was too personal. It was too kind of
yes,
like, yeah, I get what you're saying,
you
but I think that
yes,
either
right?
way, I guess we'll never really know because we can't like redo things. But personally, I think that
Mm.
even if he had said something
Yeah, yeah.
um,
And
which
I
was
remember one
truthful,
thing. I remember one thing, like why he became like this when you asked that question. Like he got into a lot of businesses, so his like attention divided, right? At that time, he was just starting the whiskey business and everything, right? So in MMA, you cannot be like that because you have to focus on a lot of things. There are a lot of variables in there, right? For fighting, like there's boxing, there's striking, there's grappling, there's wrestling, and you have to like watch each movement clearly. And he's not about the movement anymore. He's always about power and everything, and he's just
well,
become opposite of what
that's
what
what I'm
what he
saying.
has
I mean,
become.
that's what I'm
Yes,
saying with the business. That was about
yes,
money. That was about him, seeing an
mm,
opportunity to make money. Whereas if you look at Khabib's career, he's never really
yeah, yeah.
cared that much about money. He's cared about being considered the best.
Mm,
And if Khabib wanted to make more money, he could do it so easily, but he doesn't. So I think this is what I'm saying. I
yeah,
think that regardless of what Conor McGregor had said to Khabib, whether it was truthful or not, I don't think he would have gone to him because he mentally he was too strong. Whereas I
yeah,
think that's probably come from his upbringing as well. Like, um, I think Americans tend to be more like egotistical in the fighting, especially in the trash talking. So
mm,
they're more likely to engage in it. Whereas Khabib is just not a trash talker at all. He's just like very much focused, gets on with it, just wants to fight and then go. Like, do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know if it would have made that much of a difference what Conor had said because Conor was doing it for the wrong reasons. He was too money focused, and Khabib
yes,
was doing it for the reason which he wanted to be the best. So he's always going to be more motivated. So I don't know. I don't know if it would have made a difference, but we'll never really know. But yeah,
yeah.
I hope I hope that McGregor gets back to his best, or at least learns a bit of humility. Like I think he needs to learn a bit of humility. Um,
Yes,
so
he's not. Yeah, he's not humble now,
no.
right?
Um,
He was humble before. I truly believe that he was humble before because the result did not affect him. Now it's like too result oriented, and that's why he won. Just he was good. He was too
I
good.
don't
It's
know if
just
you could call him humble. I mean,
I don't know why I don't know why, man. I still feel he's better than Khabib. I don't know why, man.
yeah, but the results say different, aren't they?
Yes, yes. I still feel he's like better than Khabib. His wrestling defense is very good. His jiu-jitsu is very good. It's not bad. His jiu-jitsu is not bad. It's good. It's really good. And his striking is in another level. Just this, his concentration is his mind is in another place.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So
Like, you got to
I
have
think
that mindset as well.
yes, you know why one thing that's popping in my head. Why this ankle fracture happened. You know, do you know why? Like, I don't think God wants him to lose fairly. you know,
Who's that?
the Conor McGregor. You know why ankle rolled today, man? Why he fractured? That's my theory, man.
We
The God doesn't
karma.
want him to lose fairly. It's never happened in a trilogy fight, man. What the fuck? The trilogy fight like ends up in where with the doctor stoppage.
Yeah, I think that's karma for you. I mean, he's just gotten to like his ego's just gotten out of control. That's basically it. His ego's
Yes.
just gotten out of control. So, karma brought him back down to reality. It's like if your ego's going to get out of control, I'm going to break your leg. so, um, so yeah, that's pretty much what I'm seeing. But I think it'll teach him some humility. I think he needs to learn that. So, but it does make a big difference as well having children. I think he had kids, or he
Yes.
had a kid, and it makes a big difference because then your focus is also on your family as well. There's a lot more concern around like, oh, you could die in the ring. You don't want your child to grow up parentless. So I think that the focus then becomes a little bit less on your own success, and also becomes a focus on family as well. But he's just not a good role model in my opinion, Conor McGregor. Like, he cheats on his wife. He's egotistical, too money focused. He's not a good role model anymore. So, but yeah, I mean, not that people should look up to MMA people. But, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not exactly always going to have the best role models in MMA, coming from this sport. But yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see. I've not spoken about MMA properly in a while, so it's an interesting game. But I think he definitely did a lot for the sport. At least, I mean, I couldn't have cared less about MMA until I heard about Conor McGregor. So I feel like he did a lot for the sport in terms of selling it and getting it known. Making it entertaining, and not just about fighting. It was entertainment as well. So I think he's done a lot for the sport. But yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, we've gone into depth on this guy. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna have to end it there because it's coming up on 50 minutes. So.
Oh yeah, sure, man. We'll
all right.
go. It's sad, but yeah, enjoy the game, man.
Yeah,
enjoy the final. We'll go FPL next time.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Okay. Cool.
Catch up soon. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, take care, man. Very nice.